Hello and welcome to Steady Step English. I am so happy you're here with us today. Remember, today is a day to practice your English slowly and calmly. There is no rush here. We are here to listen, to think, and to learn together.
Hello, everyone. It is wonderful to be back. I am ready to slow down and really focus on English today. It's nice to just, take a deep breath and listen.
Today we are doing something a little bit different. We are not just looking at rules in a book. We're looking at, the psychology of language, how we use English to escape reality.
Escaping reality. That sounds interesting. I think we could all use a bit of that sometimes.
Exactly. Every language has a way to talk about facts. But humans also need to talk about dreams, about magic, about the what-ifs. We need a way to explore things that are not true, but we wish were true.
So we're talking about imagination, the things we see in our minds, but not with our eyes.
Precisely. Yeah. So before we get to the grammar, I want to play a game with you. I want you to close your eyes, just for a moment.
Okay. My eyes are closed. I'm ready.
Imagine you wake up in the morning, the sun is shining through the window, you look at a small piece of paper in your hand, it's a lottery ticket. You look at your phone to check the numbers, you look back at the paper, the numbers match. Imagine you have just won $100 million.
Oh, wow. Honestly, my palms are sweating a little bit. That's a terrifying amount of money.
It is a big shock, isn't it? But stay in that moment. What is the first thing you feel?
Panic, but also excitement. My heart is beating very fast. I am thinking about everything I could do. I am thinking about freedom.
It is a powerful feeling, but I have to ask you a question. Is this real? Do you have that ticket in your hand right now?
No, sadly, I do not. It's just a dream. It is only in my mind.
Precisely. It is not real right now. It is a dream, an imaginary situation. And in English, we have a very special tool to talk about these big imaginary dreams. Today, we're going to talk about the second conditional.
The second conditional. I have heard of this. This is the grammar we use for things that are, not true in the present, right?
Yes, that is correct. We use the second conditional to talk about things that are very unlikely or completely impossible right now. It is the grammar of dreaming.
I like that description, the grammar of dreaming. So how do we build this structure? How do I make a sentence about my lottery win?
Let's look at the structure. We often call this the unreal past.
The unreal past. Why do we call it that? That sounds a bit confusing to me. If I am dreaming about the future, why will we use the past?
That is a great question. Think about the concept of distance. In English, the past tense creates distance. Usually it creates a distance in time. I walked to the store, happened yesterday. It is distant from now.
Okay, right. I understand distance in time.
But we can also use the past tense to create a distance from reality. When we use the past tense in a conditional sentence, we are telling the listener, this is far away from the real world.
Ah, I see. So we use the past tense to show that the idea is distant from reality. Not because it happened yesterday, but because it is not happening now.
Exactly. It's a psychological distance. Here is the formula. It is very simple. We start with the word if. Then we use the past simple tense. After that, in the second part of the sentence, we use would plus the base verb.
Okay. Let me repeat that just to be sure I have it. If plus the past simple. Then would plus the base verb.
Perfect. Let us try to make some sentences with your lottery dream. Remember the pattern. If I won the lottery.
Okay, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house.
Very good. Won is the past simple of win, and would buy is the result. Let's try another one. Think about your family.
If I won the lottery, I would help my parents retire.
That is a very kind thought. Notice the structure again. If I won, I would help. It is consistent. Now, I want you to try to make your own sentences. Be creative. What else would you do with $100 million?
Let me think. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world.
That sounds wonderful. Where would you go?
Everywhere. Japan, Brazil, Italy. If I won the lottery, I would see everything.
Excellent. Try one more. What about work? Would you stay at your job?
If I won the lottery, I would start my own business. I've always wanted to open a small bookshop.
That is a lovely dream. If I won, I would start. You are using the structure perfectly.
It feels natural when we take it slowly. But I have a question. Sometimes I hear people use were instead of was. Is that the same thing?
I am glad you asked that.
Yeah.
We need to look at some variations. There are small changes we can make to the rules.
What kind of changes?
Well, there is a special rule about the verb to be. In the normal past tense, we say I was, he was, she was. But in the second conditional, especially in formal English, we often change was to were.
Oh, yes. I have heard people say, if I were you. They don't say, if I was you.
Exactly. If I was is very common in casual speaking. You will hear it on the street often. But if I were is considered more correct in formal English. It emphasizes that unreal nature we talked about. Let's try to use if I were with the idea of being rich.
Okay. So instead, if I was rich, I should say, if I were rich.
Yes. Try to finish that sentence.
If I were rich, I would live by the sea.
Beautiful. If I were rich, I would live by the sea. It sounds very elegant. Now, there is another variation. You can change the order of the sentence.
You mean I can put the second part first?
Yes, you can start with the would part. For example, I would quit my job if I won the lottery.
And does the meaning change?
No, the meaning stays exactly the same. If I won the lottery, I would quit my job. It's the same as I would quit my job if I won the lottery.
I understand. That is good to know. It gives us more flexibility when we speak.
It does. Now, we have talked a lot about money, but the second conditional is not just for money. We can use it for other dreams, too. What other things do you wish for?
Well, I often wish I had more time. Life is so busy. I feel like I'm always rushing.
That is a very common wish. How would you use the second conditional to talk about time?
Let me try. If I had more free time, I would play more sport.
Good. If I had. Had is the past simple of have. If I had more free time, I would play more sport. What about work? Imagine you did not have a job.
If I did not have to work, I would travel more.
Notice that negative form. If I did not have to work. That is the past simple negative.
If I did not have to work, I would travel more. I like that sentence very much.
I think we all like that sentence. But we can also use this grammar for real life situations. It is useful for talking about study and work goals. It helps us understand consequences.
Can you give me an example for studying?
Certainly. Imagine a student who is not working very hard. We can say, if she studied harder, she would pass her exams easily.
I see. It is a hypothetical situation. She is not studying hard right now. But if she did, the result would be good.
Exactly. Try to make one about English skills. Think about our listeners.
Okay. If I could speak perfect English, I would get a very good job.
That is a great example, and it is a great motivation. If I could speak perfect English. Here, could is the past tense of can.
Ah, right. Can becomes could. That is an important detail.
Yes. Now, let's think about location. Many people dream of living in a different place.
Yes. My company has offices in other countries. So I could say, if my company offered me a job in another country, I would move abroad.
If my company offered is the past simple. And where would you like to live?
I love the ocean. So if we live near the beach, we would go swimming every day.
If we live near the beach, we would go swimming every day. That sounds very relaxing.
It does. But, we are talking about all these wonderful things. Winning money, living on the beach. But it makes me think, if we had that money, would we actually be happy?
That is a very deep question. It is a philosophical question.
I read that many lottery winners are not happy. They have stress. They have arguments with their family. Everyone asks them for money.
That is true. Money can solve some problems, but it can create new ones. We can actually use the second conditional to discuss these deeper values. We can talk about what is truly important to us.
So we can use grammar to talk about our philosophy of life.
Yes. For example, think about charity. If you had millions of dollars, would you keep it all?
No, I do not think so. If I had a lot of money, I would give some to people who need help.
That sentence shows your values. It shows you are generous. If I had a lot of money, I would give some to people who need help.
What about working? Some people say they would stop working forever. They would just sit on a beach. But I'm not sure I could do that.
Why not?
I think I would lose my purpose. If I won the lottery, I would still work because I would get bored at home.
That is a very honest sentence. It shows you value being active and useful. If I won the lottery, I would still work.
And I would have to be careful too. I think money changes people. I would be afraid that my friends would treat me differently.
How would you express that caution using the grammar?
If I suddenly became rich, I would be careful with new friends.
That is wise. If I became rich, became is the past tense of become. I would be careful.
I think peace of mind is the most important thing.
I agree. Many people worry about paying their bills. That is a heavy burden.
Yes. If I did not worry about bills, I would feel calmer and sleep better.
If I did not worry about bills, I would feel calmer. That is a very relatable dream.
It is. I think that is the real dream. Not the sports cars or the big houses, just the feeling of safety. If I saved my money, I would feel more relaxed about the future.
If I saved my money, I would feel more relaxed about the future. That is a wonderful sentence to end our discussion on. It is practical, and it uses the grammar perfectly.
Thank you. I feel like I understand this structure much better now. It is not just about magic and lotteries. It is about how we feel and what we want.
I am glad to hear that. Now, let us slow down even more. We have learned a lot today. I want to summarize the main points for our listeners. First, remember that the second conditional talks about dreams and situations that are not real right now. Second, the pattern is if plus the past tense, followed by would, and the base verb. Third, remember that in formal situations, we often say if I were instead of if I was. And finally, this grammar is a powerful tool to help us share our hopes, our dreams, and our deepest values clearly.
That is a very clear summary. Thank you.
You are welcome. Now, it is time for our vocabulary word tour. We are going to look at 10 key words from our lesson today.
I am ready. I will give the definition and an example sentence for each word.
Excellent. Let's begin. The first word is lottery.
A game where people buy tickets to win money. He bought a ticket for the lottery every Friday.
Match.
To be the same as something else. Your blue shirt does not match your green pants.
Unlikely.
Not expected to happen, probably will not happen. It is unlikely to rain today because the sky is blue.
Charity.
An organization that helps people in need. She gives money to a charity that helps animals.
Abroad.
In or to a foreign country. We want to travel abroad next summer, perhaps to France.
Sure.
The way parts of something are arranged or put together, we are learning the structure of a new English sentence.
Luxury.
Something expensive that is pleasant, but not necessary. Eating at a five-star restaurant is a luxury for us.
Conflict.
A serious disagreement or argument. They had a conflict about how to spend the money.
Relaxed.
Feeling calm and free from stress. I feel very relaxed after a long walk in the park.
Value.
The importance or worth of something. Your beliefs about what is right. My family places a high value on education and kindness.
That's it for today. Remember, every minute you spend listening is a step closer to fluency. If you enjoyed this lesson, please subscribe and join our learning community. Before you go, I have a challenge for you. Write one new word you learned today in the comment field below. I will see you at our next episode at Steady Step English.